Hey guys, this is your favorite neighborhood gambler, Moss Money. Thanks for clicking on my video. If you're into gambling, if you're into winning money at gambling, hell, if you love talking Eagles, this is the channel and the videos for you. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, tell a friend to tell a friend, and enjoy the shows. There was a big fight this weekend. Let's see your UFC champion busting it out, the Trump dance.
Talk about
Still! How good is Johnny Bones? How good?
Wow. He did the Trump dance. He did the Trump dance.
He did the Trump dance. Maybe I should have did it.
He was
Maybe I thought that was the kind of more of the better ones I've seen. But obviously, this has been going around a lot, and I think it's starting to kind of I think it makes people mad, right? Because a lot of people hate Donald Trump, and so it's annoying to them. But also, it's just because of what we kind of talked about before. Everything behind him. You already know who the man is and things like that, but what comes with him and everything behind him and what he represents, or what the media says, whatever you think about the whole thing situation. Now it's starting to where I think the NFL is starting about like possibly banning it because it is a political, I guess, statement or something like
they did
that.
say today they weren't.
I didn't agree with that because it's just, to me, I don't, like if you were doing something that that symbolized some type of hate speech or something like that, then I would say, you got to get rid of that. You can't do that on national TV. But the dance itself is not like, it's just some old white guy who can't dance, just moving his arms. You know what I mean? So you did say so they're not going to, I guess, ban it. They're going to allow, I guess, people to keep players.
Yeah, NFL said they're not going to jump into that.
But it was up on the ballot though, right? It was. I guess it did get
There was
brought up.
discussion. I thought the pressure probably was possibly happening, but they didn't say anything.
Let me ask you this: if they did ban it, what do you think? Like, what do you think? Like, because do they have strict rules? I think the NFL has strict rules about politics, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of rules. So we don't know.
Because Bosa got fined after a while, right? Bosa did get fined.
Like $12,000, something very small.
That's an expensive ass hat.
Not to him. That was worth the $12,000. And I'm sure.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what he
sure
said.
Trump gave him a little stipend in the back. I'm sure.
Yeah, you don't need to. When you got 290 million or however much he got money, he'd be all right with that $12.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I guess I don't know, bro. What do you think? How long do you think this is gonna last? You think it's going?
I think it's a trendy thing. I think it's funny. I think people think it's funny. This is my thing though. Listen, I don't care what people do. John Jones, when he did it, I thought it was just a little extra because he went over there, bowed down, wanted to kiss his hands. Like, this was too much. Like, Joe, like, bro. But I guess he's a big Trump fan or a Trump guy. I guess he's he showed his colors.
I didn't know that. But I did gather.
You learned that day. It was a little extra. So when I watched that, I was kind of like, okay. But what got to me was in the NFL, right? And I'm seeing a bunch of people doing it in the NFL across the board, white people, black people, and it bothered me because it's like it's almost like we just forget so fast. And I'm thinking in my head, like, it wasn't that long ago that same dance you were talking about was the person that does that dance that you were representing was calling you sons of bitches. And that's where I was going with it. That's where I don't care if any other sport can do what they want to do. It specifically was the football players. And me seeing them, doing that little thing. And I'm like, man, they like, it was a big moment in sports where a man career was sacrificed in representation of something of social justice that pertains to people that look like them. and the target was so big on his back that he lost his job. It became a media frenzy. The story was twisted around to disrespecting the flag, disrespecting the military. A whole bunch of stuff happened within that moment. And my thing is that how did we get to this point? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
how did we get to the point where we think this is fun? So that's kind of where I was at with it. It wasn't about everywhere. It was just more about
Yeah.
the football itself.
Yeah, it caught on and got trendy. I think Trump's obviously been to UFC a bunch of times, right? So him and Dana are boys. So um, yeah, I I was a little what kind of got me that was like, oh wow, you're a big Trump supporter is when he talked about his religion as a champion. That's when like the whole because I mean when you go back to people even when before we knew more about Trump, like they made songs about Trump, like hip hop artists love Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like Trump's got so many pictures with back in the day with hip hop artists and stuff like that. So like to me, it was just like people do kind of get this aura about him. Even back in the day when he was, what I mean, when he was more on the real estate business entrepreneur side. So that part really didn't, because he probably still has that type of aura. And now that he's the president, I get that kind of kiss the ring type deal. But once he said like I'm a champion, but I'm a Christian champion, I was like, oh, okay. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Yeah, that's where I didn't, and then nothing wrong with your faith, religion, all good. You know what I mean? We obviously on tiptoeing on subjects that it's always quote unquote not good to talk about from politics and religion and stuff. Got no qualms with Catholicism or Christians or anything like that. But that was the first time he said that,
mhm,
right, in that manner, and because of the platform and obviously who he was just interacting with made him think of that. You know what I mean? So that's when I was like, oh, okay, okay. I like, you know what I mean? I get that now about you. You know what I mean? You probably beat up every man in the room, but you know what I
for
mean? That's
sure.
just,
Definitely
you know
could.
what I mean? So nobody's not gonna say anything about that. But it just like I thought it was a little bit surprising, you know what I mean? Just a little bit surprising because I think they're well, maybe not, because I think they're from down south, right? The Jones brothers.
Yeah.
I think
Mhm.
they're from down south, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it wasn't really him besides the extra. It was more about the NFL players.
yeah,
That was
yeah,
that was my that was my gripe.